Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. My name is Amy with 2 E's, and I am the CEO and founder of Irresistible University. Through my podcast and courses, I teach women just like you how to ditch the body image issues, gain confidence, and lose the emotional weight to look and feel irresistible at any size. Welcome back to the podcast. This is going to be episode 236. And today we are talking about how to be thankful for the journey. Thanksgiving is upon us. It is the week of Thanksgiving here in 2024. And we're just a few days away from Thanksgiving and really the whole holiday season. I mean, let's be honest, it basically begins in November now anyway. And once Halloween ends, we just get rolling right into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and holiday this and holiday that. And, you know, it can be really tough this time of year as the year is like closing in to start comparing and start saying like, oh my God, I didn't accomplish this. I didn't pay off that. I didn't lose this weight. I didn't do this. And getting really down on ourselves about where we're at and where we thought we would be. Or maybe you're in a totally different space this year and you're loving where you are, and that's great. But either way, I want to talk about the importance of the journey itself and not just the destination. So when you are on a personal development journey, you know, whether that is just to improve your life in some way or you're on a weight loss journey, I'm going to use weight loss journey kind of as the example here because that's really, you know, a lot what we talk about on the podcast. But I think what's beautiful about it is that when you're on the journey and doing it the right way for the last time, you encounter a version of yourself that you've never encountered before because you are working on the personal growth. You are working on the personal development, right? You're not just approaching it from a desperate diet. Let me lose this 20 pounds, this 50 pounds so I can go to a party, so I can go on a cruise, so I can, you know, fit into this outfit. You're doing it from fundamentally wanting to change your life for the better, not just about what the number says on the scale, not just about how much you weigh. And when you go on this journey, we call it the Irresistible You journey here. When you go on an Irresistible You journey, you have these unexpected lessons that come along the way that are teaching you how to love yourself, how to accept yourself where you are, how to meet yourself where you are, how to be resilient, how to be resourceful, and how to become the woman, the version of you that you've always craved to be, but you just couldn't get there on your own, right? Like you just weren't able to do it and you expected it to happen from going through the weight loss process, right? And when we go on this journey, when we go on our Irresistible You journey, what happens is we start to become that version of ourselves that we crave to be, that we've always wanted to be, but we didn't necessarily know how to make that happen. And that's the beauty in it. It's not about the destination. I know that is so cliche and it's so corny where everybody says that, enjoy the journey, right? But like it truly is what it's about. The destination, it's like you get there and then you're like, now what, right? And a lot of times that happens when you are desperate dieting and you're like, okay, I just want to get these 50 pounds off and then I'm going to get to that goal. And then you get to the goal and you're like, well, now what, right? Because you didn't do any other work with yourself or on yourself to develop into this new version of you, right? And so we need to be thankful for the journey. And when I say thankful, I don't mean for just the good stuff. You cannot just be sitting around thankful for all that's good, thankful for when all conditions are right, thankful for when the scale goes down, thankful for when everything goes your way. No. We got to be thankful for all of it, good, bad, ugly, and in between, okay? Because it's in those moments where you will see growth, you will see change, right? It's in those moments where you are faced with adversity, you are faced with a challenge, and you have to figure out, how am I going to show up in this? What version of me am I going to show up as? Am I going to show up as the victim? Woe is me. I can't do anything. I'm too fat. I'm too this. No, like, you're going to learn in these moments, like, how to be a better version of yourself, right? And when you look at this as a journey and not just, when you look at this as a journey and not just a final destination to get to your goal weight, right? When you look at it as a journey to fundamentally change your life, to become a better version of yourself, and not just what you look like, not just what you weigh, like, in all honesty, on this Irresistible You journey, that ends up becoming like the most least interesting thing of this entire journey. And that you start to lose the weight, and it's not that it's not exciting, it's that you have other things to look forward to. You have bigger goals, you have bigger aspirations other than what you weigh on the scale, and that's not what you're judging yourself on completely. Like, you're not solely judging yourself on how far has the scale gone down this week? How many inches have I lost? What size can I fit in? It's almost like it becomes boring in a way, because you're making changes and improvements in all of your other areas, right? And I want you to think about this, because people say, well, weight is vanity. It's just a number. It's what you look like. And on the very surface level, that's fair. Okay, that's fair to say. However, like, when you don't like yourself, when you don't like your body, it infiltrates into all the other areas of your life. It shows up in ways that you didn't expect it to show up. It shows up in how you show up, right? And how you show up for yourself, and how you show up for others, and how you show up and present yourself to the world. When you don't like your body and you don't love yourself enough, you play small. It's like you're trying to shrink yourself down by playing small, by being quiet, by not standing up for yourself, so that and this is what we go through, what we think, so that the attention isn't on our weight. Because we think, well, if I show up and show out, and I'm bold, and I say what I need to say, and I do what I got to do, then everybody notices me. And when they notice me, what are they going to notice first? They're going to notice my weight. They're going to notice my size. That's not in your head. You've internalized it because of what you've been through and what people have said. But because of how you've been treated by others and even by yourself, this is how you think. And it's not wrong and it's not right. It just needs to be changed. And the empowering thing about it is we have the ability and the empowerment to change our thoughts, and at any given moment, we can just decide, I'm not thinking this way anymore. Is it that simple? No, it's going to take the work to put the actions in behind it. But we get to decide if we're going to allow the shit that people have said about us in the past. We're going to decide if that is going to drive our thoughts and feelings and actions going forward. And it doesn't have to. So your weight shows up in ways that you don't expect. It shows up in you not being there with your kids. You might be in the room with your kids, but you're not playing with them. You're not getting in the pictures with them. I put a reel on TikTok recently where I'm like, hey, just turn on the tripod. I don't give a shit what you look like. You're decorating the Christmas tree. Turn the tripod on. You are, decorating cookies. Turn the tripod on. Turn the camera on. Press record. You don't have to share that. You don't have to post it publicly. You can keep it on your phone, but have those memories that you can look back on for yourself, for your children, And that when you become this irresistible version of yourself and you look back on those videos, the gratitude that you can feel knowing how far you've come, you don't want to live a life where nothing you've done has been documented, because it's like you're a ghost in your own life, and we're not trying to be ghosts, okay? We're trying to be the main character. So I need you to be the main character in your life. Turn that record on, press the button, put it on a tripod, and let's make our life the story, and we become the main character. Because you only got one life to live, baby. That's it. That's it. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, it's going by really fast. Really fast. The older my kids get, I'm just like, damn, like somebody said something the other day about 10 years. And I thought, oh my God, my oldest in 10 years is going to be 18 and off to college. Like, what? What? Huh? That doesn't make sense. So this gratitude for the journey is so incredibly important. What does it look like? I know we hear gratitude, thankfulness. We just hear it thrown around, right? And especially this time of year, everybody's trying to say it. And people that don't normally practice gratitude are doing the thing this time of year, which is fine. But I am a firm believer that it's something you do all the time, every single day. I will give you a great example. So recently, if you follow me on social media, on Instagram or TikTok, you saw that my stove broke. Yeah, my stove broke the week of Thanksgiving. Now it's been acting up, but we weren't really sure, but it's broken. You cannot cook anything in the stove. It burns everything. It's about to catch the house on fire. It's just a no. The stovetop works, thank goodness, right? So here I was complaining. I was at Walmart trying to get some groceries for Thanksgiving. Stove breaking was not on the bingo card. Was not in the budget. Let's just be real. This time of year is already hard and expensive, and this was not in the budget. And Kat and I were leaving the store, and I'm just like, oh my God, I hope they can get this fixed. If they can't, I don't know what we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. And I look over, and I see this makeshift tent, homeless thing in a parking lot. I mean, it was really rigged together. There was an umbrella, there was a tent, there was some sheets, and it was clear that this was someone's home. This is where someone lives. And I said, you know what? I can feel pissed off that this happened. I can feel angry that my stove is broken because it's annoying. It's frustrating. However, get your ass in check because it could always be worse. Let's be grateful that you have this nice home to come to. You have other appliances. You have a stovetop. If worse comes to worse, we can figure some shit out, okay? And we're getting creative now. We've got a Blackstone. We've got a grill. I've got a crock pot. I went out and bought a turkey roaster. We're probably going to buy another crock pot. And we're going to make it work. We're going to make magic, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to get creative. Because what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Bitch and complain? So we're going to make it work. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we're able to do that. I'm grateful that we have people to cook for, right? I looked at that person's little place, and I'm like, they probably have no one. They probably have no one that is dependent on them. They have no one to spend the holiday with. They're not even going to have a holiday. It's just, we have to, and I want you to understand the difference. You can be grateful and also be like, well, this sucks. But you know what? At least I've got this. And you know what? At least I can do this. I can work this around. I can get creative. I can do the things. But it's being grateful for the journey, right? And as we go on this journey, there are so many unexpected lessons that come up, right? And it's developing who you are, becoming this irresistible version of yourself because you've been hiding for so long. And it is time to stop hiding, right? And knows that your goals can shift. When you first start on a weight loss journey, it feels like, oh, like this is such a big goal. This is the only thing I care about. I don't care about anything else. And as I said earlier, it's like once you start losing the weight, it's great. Don't get me wrong. But your goals get bigger. Not bigger of like, oh, I want to lose weight, but you're like, it's like the portal opens to your confidence. The portal opens to the opportunities that you have been denying yourself. You have been playing small. You have not been showing up. And as you start to lose weight and you start to work on yourself, you start to build confidence, and this portal opens to a world that you've been missing out on because you've been sitting on the sidelines. You've been sitting around waiting for the wait, right? Meanwhile, it seems like everybody else is out here living. And I want you living, not just surviving, right? There's a big difference. And you start to realize there's other things that you want to pursue, that you want to do, and you have that confidence. And I'm not talking, it doesn't even have to be big things. Like, it doesn't have to be going after a new job, starting a business, having children. Maybe it is, and that's cool. But it can be as simple as horseback riding, kayaking, biking, going to the salon, going to the spa, like the things that you have denied yourself because you thought you didn't deserve it. The things that you have denied yourself because you thought there was a weight limit. The things that you have denied yourself because you were afraid if you went, you would be judged for what you look like and how much you weighed. Oh my God, why is she sitting in this salon chair when she's got all that weight to lose? The last thing she needs to do is her hair. How many times has that thought been in your head? And then it prevented you from going there and taking care of yourself and doing what you deserve to have, getting what you deserve, right? Going and getting a massage, going to the spa and being afraid of your body, your size. Oh my God, what might somebody say, right? Like, we don't want to live like that anymore. We want to live big, and we want to live the life that we deserve, you know? So a lot of times too, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you were in your desperate dieting phase and you just put your head down, I'm going to lose weight as fast as I can. I just want to wear this dress. I just need to like get down on the scale. I'm not going to go anywhere until this happens. And, you know, you don't learn anything on that journey other than to hate yourself. You don't learn anything on that journey other than, as long as I hate myself, as long as I stay in disgust, and as long as the weight comes off, I am good. If the weight comes up, if the weight stays the same, I am bad. That's what you've taught yourself, because that's what's been ingrained in you from diet culture. It just is what it is. So the changes happen on the journey, right? Like, you learn more in the process. And I'm talking about when you do this for real. Like, when you do this for real, saying, I'm going to lose weight for the last time. I'm going to go on my Irresistible You journey. And in that process is where the learning comes. It doesn't come at the end. It doesn't come at the end. It's not like you go and you get to the end and you're like, all right, cool, I'm done. I don't have to ever work on myself again. Like, this was fun. Never doing this again. That's what has caused you to stay in the cycle, right? Like, that is what has caused you to stay trapped in the yo-yo diet, body, hate, shame cycle, is just being laser focused on the destination and not worried about the journey. The destination is fun. It is. It truly is. But you get there, and then what? And then what? And then what? So this Thanksgiving season, as you start to reflect and think about things and you get a quiet moment, I know that's rare, but when you start to get a quiet moment, I want you to think about where you've been, what you've gone through, and where you are today. And even if you're not where you want to be today, it's okay. It's okay. Because you're probably further along than you were. And what have you learned from it? So that's the other thing. If you're not where you want to be, and you're not further ahead than you thought you would be, right? That's the perfect time to introduce gratitude and be like, okay, gratitude with a dose of grace. Like, if you're really going through it, like, I'm not telling you to make excuses. I'm telling you to give yourself grace for that, right? Like, everybody that's been listening to me for a very long time knows 2021 was like one of the hardest years for me when my daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And there was a good chunk of that year that I was just surviving. I also had a newborn. And I had this newly diagnosed 4-year-old. It was like 1 year outside of COVID. When COVID started, it was rough. And I just had to be like, you know what? I survived the year. And sometimes it's just what it is, and it's okay. And like, we can be grateful for that. We are always at a place where we can make changes at some point. Okay. So think about your growth, and also think forward to, like, where do you want to go? What do you want your growth? What do you want it to look like? I have learned so much more in my journey, and that's where all of this comes from. Like, the birthplace of Irresistible You, the podcast, the framework, the way I teach, the methodology for Irresistible You, all of that came from my own journey. It didn't come from the destination. It came from being in the thick of it, right? And that's what the whole purpose of Irresistible You is like approaching it from all of these different angles. When you think about the guiding principles, right? The first guiding principle is break the rules. And break the rules is to break down everything you thought about yourself, break down everything you thought you knew, all the self-imposed, society-inflicted rules that you've created for yourself. Oh, I'm not allowed to play big. I'm not allowed to wear that. I'm not allowed to wear stripes. I'm not allowed to be happy until I lose weight. What are the rules that you've been playing by? And whatever they are, we're going to break them. Instead of just diving into, oh my God, I got to get this weight off and I got to do it by this time. It's like, just throw your timeline away. Like, it doesn't matter how quickly you lose the weight. Throw your timeline away. And that's what everybody wants to know. How much weight have you lost and how long did it take you? I don't care how long it took. I don't care how long it takes you. That's not what's important here, right? What's important here is, are you breaking the rules? Are you learning how to be more confident? Because if you're not doing that, none of it matters, right? So guiding principle 2 is called Make Confidence Queen. And that is about building up your confidence. It is probably shattered all over the floor. Building up your confidence, becoming the queen you're supposed to be, keeping commitments to yourself, doing what you say you're going to do. Are you doing that? Because you lose trust and confidence in yourself every single time you let yourself down. And how often are you letting yourself down? So number 3 is feed your soul. Sitting around watching Netflix and eating on the couch is not a hobby. Is it nice to do that? Yes. And you know me, I will be watching my Christmas movies, hanging out at home, watching my true crime, and enjoying that time. But it's not my main hobby. It's not my main source of joy. So you have to find what brings you joy. And don't tell me your kids. I'm sorry. It can't be your kids. And you guys know that ride with me, the kind of mother I am. I am very involved. I do so many things with my kids. I take them places. I culture them. We do this, we do that. We do art and crafts and all the shit. But and do they bring me joy? Yes, they bring me lots of joy. I seeing them happy makes me happy. Seeing their little faces or running home to me when I get home, I adore them. But they can't be your core source of joy. Okay? You have to also find joy outside of being a mom, outside of just this identity, because one day they will leave the nest. And that's the goal. We are building them up to be independent, to leave. Okay? That's what it's all about, so that they can be productive adults and have an amazing life, right? you have to have an identity outside of mom. You just do. And it's good for your kids to see that as well. So like feed your soul is about what brings you joy, what feeds your soul, like what does it look like? You know, and it can be like the most simple things too. Like walking the aisles at Home Goods, you damn right it feeds my soul. Like let me go out by myself. I'm gonna go to Home Goods, I'm gonna go to TJ Maxx, maybe some Ross, Home Sense, Starbucks, go to sushi by myself, maybe get a foot massage and get my nails done. And that like reinvigorates me. Like I'm getting excited thinking about it. Like that reinvigorates me. That makes me happy. That brings me joy. And I can do it by myself. I don't want anyone with me when I do those things, right? I also find joy in being on the water, kayaking, boating, swimming. You know, so yes, I'm not telling you for your kids to not bring you joy because they do and they should, but they can't be your source, like your soul source. Like you're just sucking from that pot. And it's like, that's also like called codependency, right? Like we got to have other things. My dog brings me joy. Yes. Chewy definitely brings me joy. Going for walks with him as well. You know, so you've got to have things outside of work, outside of home, outside of mom life, right? That's feed your soul. Number 4 is called be in the moment. And that is just about showing up, being present, being mindful, being here now, right? And I mean being here now regardless of how much you weigh. Being here now regardless of how uncomfortable you feel in your own skin right now, right? When you are overweight and you are unhappy in your skin, you just feel, I always have this visual, right? Where I just wanted to, and even sometimes now, like take a pair of scissors and just cut the fat and be done with it, right? You just want to break out. There's this art, this amazing, very like great art sculpture. I have no idea who makes it. You could Google it, but it's like this man who's very overweight and he's like chiseling his way out of the fat suit. And that's what you want to do sometimes. And when you feel like that, you can't be in the moment. You can't show up. You can't be present because your thoughts are consuming you like, oh my God, what is everybody thinking? Oh my God, everyone thinks I'm fat. Oh my God, everyone's looking at me. Oh my God. And are you just thinking, okay, next time I come here, I'm going to be 50 pounds lighter, whatever. So being mindful and being here now and saying, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm here. This is what I can do right now. I cannot lose this weight overnight, but I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to do the things. That's called be in the moment. Okay. Lastly, we have not make confidence queen. We have get your glam on. Self-explanatory. How you show up is how you do everything. How you show up in the world is how you show up in the world. If you are a disheveled mess, if you are constantly rolling out of bed, if you are constantly not putting on makeup, if you are constantly looking like a slob, that's who you are to the world. It may not be who you think you feel like inside because there is this like disconnect, but that is how you're showing up. And get your glam on is not about, oh my God, be full glam. And this, if you're full glam, be full glam. I am here for it. Okay. But it's about look good, feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And putting time and effort into your appearance says to other people without saying to other people, I value myself and I have confidence and I believe in myself and I take care of myself. It's not about how pretty you are, how thin you are. I'm talking about doing this at any size, okay? Learning how to find your signature style. Learning how to package yourself to show up in the world. That is important. Because whether we want to believe it or not, it shouldn't be this way, but it is this way. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. People will treat you the way you treat yourself. And if you treat yourself like shit by rolling out of bed, not doing your hair, not putting on makeup, putting on old raggedy ass clothes, people are going to treat you like that. They just will. It's a fierce reality. It sucks, but it is what it is. Notice the difference. I can tell you, when I go to the store and I'm done up and I look cute, people open doors, they smile, they're nicer. And I'm not out here trying to get validation from strangers and this and that, but I just want you to understand, if you want to be taken seriously, take yourself seriously first. Because what that does is it builds your confidence. It boosts your confidence. Be like, you know what? I'm not putting up with your shit. I don't have to put up with your shit. I know who I am. I believe in me. I have confidence in myself. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. And the more you look good, you start to feel good, it reflects in your actions. You start to take better care of yourself. You start to spend more time. You start to be more confident. Like, all of these 5 guiding principles that I share with you, this is the Irresistible You framework that I teach in my courses. They're not like step by step by step by step. They are intertwined. You are constantly working all of them together, right? You work them all together. And some days you have to work on other areas more than others. But when you go through your journey doing these things, you have something more to believe in. You have a purpose. You have bigger goals than just losing weight, right? And when you start to care more about yourself, you start to be more mindful, you start to show up, you start to take care of yourself, you start to break the rules, you don't think about food as much. You don't look for food and Netflix to be your source of joy. And it works. It works. I don't know how else to tell you. It works. It's proven. So this holiday season, this Thanksgiving, let's be grateful for all of the things. And I just want to say, for those of you that are still listening to the end of this, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for... I'm going to cry. Where's this coming from? I've been on the internet for a very long time. I've been on the internet since 2010, meaning I've been blogging since 2010. And I've been doing this podcast now since 2018, which I can't understand how it's been that long. And sometimes I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not where I want to be because I don't have this huge following. I don't have, 1 million downloads. I don't have hundreds of thousands of downloads. I don't have the hundreds of thousands of followers. And sometimes I think, is anyone listening? Like, does anyone care about this? And then I'll get a message that says, your podcast is saving my life. And I'm like, I don't have the ability to do that. Like, there's no way that the words coming out of my mouth have the ability to do that. And then I have to check myself and not put myself down about that. I'm like, yeah, they do have the ability to do that. And I get your letters and your DMs and your messages about how this podcast has saved you. It has changed your life. It has made you think differently. It has made you do things differently. And I don't care. When I see that, it validates for me that whether it's 500 of you, 1,000 of you, or 1 million of you listening, it doesn't matter what the number is, because as long as this message is reaching someone, then I am doing what I was sent here to do, right? And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for being on the journey with me, whether you've been here I have people I have followed. We have followed each other since 2010 on the blogger days, like Blogspot days. So if you are still here, I am so grateful for you. Like, thank you for allowing me to have a platform to share, I was just the little girl who got bullied, you guys. Like, I was just the little fat girl who nobody liked, who got bullied, who got called names, who let that run her life for so long, who allowed food to be the main character, to be the main source of joy. And I got to a point where I knew I was worth more than that. And I had to make changes, and I had to create a life that I deserved and create a life that felt irresistible, and to live in my purpose and pursue my dreams and not be stuck at a cubicle all day. And I just started talking. I just started typing. That's all I did is I started typing. And from some of those first blog posts, what I was saying, stuff that I had never said out loud about being the fat girl, like, you feel me, like, y'all get me, you're my people, and you understand. And from that moment, people finding those posts and resonating with it made me realize that all of that pain, all of that weight gain, all of those issues, like, they weren't for nothing. There is a bigger purpose for me. And I just am so grateful for you. I am so grateful for the life that we are in, where we have the internet and we can connect with each other all over the world. Like, it's amazing. And I'm so grateful that I went through all that I went through before I even decided I wanted to have kids, so that I can teach my daughter and my son how to love themselves, how to not see people for bodies. Like, we have those discussions already, and it's like, it's great. And so I am going to be a sobbing mess if I keep talking, because my heart is full. And that's what gratitude does, right? Like, we may not be where we want to be, but when we focus on where we are and what we have, it is overwhelming. It rushes emotion over you that is overwhelming, right? Like, it just is. And I don't, oh my gosh. So anyway, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for just liking and loving the podcast. I really appreciate you. And I want to wish you the happiest of Thanksgivings. And just a reminder of how to stay in touch with me. So a couple of ways. Number one, get on my email list. Please, please, please get on my email list. We never know what's going to happen to social media. It could fall off the earth tomorrow, like the way things are going. We just don't know. And I want you to stay in my world, and you can stay in my world by being on my email list. That link is in the show notes. And when you sign up, you also get a free Irresistible You action plan. So please do that first and foremost. Secondly, my biggest social media where I hang out every single day is on Instagram. I post daily stories. I post reels. Keep in touch with me over there. That's like the best way. I'm at Irresistible Icing. And I have also been dipping my toes into TikTok recently, over the past few weeks. And I don't have that many. I don't know if any of you are following me over there, but I'm also at Irresistible Icing. I will link it down below for you as well. And that has been a fun experience. I don't just post the same things that are on Instagram. Sometimes I do, like, you'll see some of the same videos, but there's also a lot of things that I share on TikTok that I don't put on Instagram, and vice versa. So if you love TikTok, I have definitely been falling in love with it. It's like such a cool platform. Go ahead and follow me over there. We still have the Facebook discussion group, and I have been saying this all year, but it is like a dormant, abandoned building. Like, I have so many of my people in there, but it's dead. And I don't know if I really want to. I mean, I post in there still, but like, it's just not popping like it used to be. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. But if you want to get in there, get in there. I would love to have you. And yeah, so email list, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook discussion group. We're like loosely talking about that. And then also, Black Friday is coming up. Shopping season is coming up. I have an Amazon influencer store. So I would love for you to go in there to use my store, shop for things. It costs you absolutely nothing extra. I will not know that you bought a rose on my store. I will not know that it was you. So if you know, you know. It does not tell me who purchased what, okay? But it helps me. It helps the podcast because I do earn an affiliate commission from any of those sales. So if you want to help support the podcast and you already shop on Amazon, please go and do that. I spend a lot of time curating lists over there of like themed gifts, and I'm putting a whole bunch of them together this week for Black Friday. So please keep checking and refreshing that page. And then my course is coming back out. I'm going to run a Black Friday sale, and this is going to be completely self-study. So before, where it was like a whole group coaching program and it was a little bit more pricey, I am going to roll out the self-study version only. So it'll be at a very discounted rate. Please get on my email list so you don't miss that sale and you don't miss any updates that are going to happen from that. So on that note, the last thing too, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can buy me a coffee. That is down in the show notes. Or if you do not want to spend a dime, that is perfectly okay. You can go over to your podcast player. Some podcast players have it, some don't, where you leave a rating and review. I know Apple Podcast is a big one. I use Amazon Podcasts, and I don't see a way to do that yet, but I'm sure it's going to be coming soon. So make sure you go and do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and go. I got to research some more crock pots, figure out how to do this non-stove cooking thing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, our part comes in tomorrow and it works. But if it doesn't, we need a backup plan. So I'm going to go start hustling on that and get some work done. And I will catch you online, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.